Hi there guys, this is Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is the comparison between ZUK Z1 and Meizu M3 Note. So I'm just gonna call it ZUK or Z1 and M3 Note just for convenience. This is something you have been asking for quite some time and here's what you need to know. Meizu M3 Note comes with a 360-degree symmetric unibody metal design with curved edges and a 2.5D curved glass on the top and a fingerprint scanner on the front. ZUK Z1 has a metal frame with chamfered edges and a plastic back panel and a fingerprint scanner on the front as well. M3 Note is lighter and sleeker than ZUK Z1 and weighs 163 grams and has a thickness of 8.2 mm, whereas ZUK Z1 weighs 175 grams and has a thickness of 8.9 mm. M3 Note is available in grey, white and gold colors, whereas the ZUK is available in white and space grey. With ZUK Z1, we get the option to use on-screen buttons or capacitive buttons and they can be rearranged. I personally don't like to use the physical buttons, so I always switch to the on-screen buttons. And the fingerprint scanner also feels like some cheap plastic button. Whereas on M3 Note, we have a slightly different approach when it comes to the buttons. With M3 Note, we have a fingerprint scanner, back button and the home button all baked into one single button, and you need to swipe from the bottom of the screen to go to the recent apps page. Design and build always comes down to personal preference, so you can choose the one that you like. But for me, I prefer M3 Note as it has a 2.5D curved glass and a complete uni-metal body, which gives it a way more premium look and feel than the ZUK Z1. ZUK Z1 is well built, but in aesthetics, it comes nowhere near M3 Note. Both the devices have dual SIM support with dual 4G and dual standby. On ZUK Z1, we have the option to insert 2 nano SIM cards and no option for SD card. On M3 Note, we have a nano SIM slot and a hybrid SIM slot, so we can insert 2 nano SIMs or a single nano SIM and a micro SD card up to 128 GB. Both the devices have a fingerprint scanner on the front, which are very accurate and fast. You can't directly unlock both the phones using the fingerprint scanner. You need to first wake the device by pressing the power button and then place the finger on the fingerprint reader to unlock the device. We can also press the home button to quickly wake the device and unlock it. We also have screen gestures like double tap to wake on both the devices to make unlocking the phone a much more seamless process. We can store up to 5 fingerprints on both the devices. Besides unlocking the phone on M3 Note, we can lock and unlock applications and the vault using the fingerprint scanner. As of now, we can't unlock apps using the fingerprint scanner on the ZUK Z1. Both devices come with LED notification, OTG support and all the basic sensors like proximity, ambient, accelerometer, and additionally you get gyroscope and compass. So we can enjoy VR content and 360-degree videos on both the devices. We are missing infrared sensor and NFC on both the devices. Display quality is always subjective and something we need to check in person to decide which is the best. Both the devices come with 5.5-inch Full HD displays with a maximum brightness of 450 nits and both look pretty good individually. ZUK Z1 comes with Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protecting the display, whereas M3 Note comes with a less popular T2X1 scratch resistant glass. On the whole, they are pretty good. They will get scratches over time and both will break when you drop them on their face. Using both the devices in direct sunlight is decent and there's no winner over here. On M3 Note, we have multiple screen gestures like double tap to wake, swipe up, left, right, down to perform various actions which make using the device much more seamless. On ZUK Z1, we have only one gesture, that's double tap to wake. On the whole, both have good displays, but M3 offers 2.5D curved glass with screen gestures, so in this round, M3 Note is the winner. M3 Note comes with a 13 megapixel camera with f1.9 aperture, 5p lens, face detection autofocus and dual tone LED flash. On the front we have the 5 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture and 4p lens. ZUK Z1 comes with 13 megapixel Sony IMX214 sensor with f2.2 aperture, 5p lens and dual tone LED flash on the rear. On the front we have the 8 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture, 1.4 micron pixels and a 76.5 degree wide angle lens. Both devices are capable of shooting 1080p without any problem. Besides the specs, when it comes to actual performance, M3 does a below average job with decent shots in well lit conditions and outdoor and very bad shots in low light and indoor conditions. Though Z1 doesn't have the latest camera, it is a decent shooter. It definitely has a much better camera than M3 Note. These are some sample shots. On M3 Note, exposure control is bad, it has poor dynamic range, and color reproduction is way off. ZUK Z1 has similar issues but does a far better job than M3 Note. In terms of camera performance, ZUK Z1 wins this round. When it comes to the performance, M3 Note comes with a Helios P10 processor with 8 low-performance Cortex A53 cores clocked at a maximum frequency of 1.8 GHz and Mali T860 GPU with 3GB RAM and 32GB internal storage and expandable memory option. While ZUK Z1 comes with Snapdragon 801 processor with 4 Crate 400 cores clocked at a maximum frequency of 2.5 GHz and Adreno 330 GPU with 3GB RAM and 64GB internal storage. This is a 2-generation old flagship processor and it still performs really well even today in 2016. These are the benchmark scores of Meizu M3 Note and the ZUK Z1. ZUK Z1 performs slightly better than M3 Note, maybe 10% approximately. It has a much powerful GPU than M3 Note. We don't have any expandable memory option on the ZUK Z1, so that's something you need to remember. That's where M3 Note has a slight edge over the ZUK Z1. On the whole, I would say both have decent performance. M3 has a newer processor, but ZUK has a faster old processor. So I would say in this round, it's a tie. Gaming performance on these devices will come close. On M3 Note, you can play high-end games at decent and average graphics and all the small games without any problem. While playing old games, ZUK does a slightly better job, but as it is an old processor, it might not support all the upcoming new games. When it comes to long-term use, both have pretty good processors and will definitely last you for the upcoming 2 to 3 years. But while charging, ZUK Z1 gets very hot. M3 Note doesn't heat up as much as ZUK Z1 while charging. While playing high-end games, both phones will heat up moderately, and if you push them, they will get extremely hot. Coming to the software experience, M3 Note runs on a skinned version of Android called Flyme OS on top of Android Lollipop 5.1, which comes with a lot of nice customizations and features like multi-window, smart touch, guest mode, screen gestures, app permissions, and so on. ZUK Z1 runs on the CyanogenOS 12.1 on top of Android Lollipop, which comes with better optimization and customizations. ZUK Z1 has its own unique trademark like Cyanogen themes, privacy guard, and all the goodies from the CyanogenOS. We do get themes on M3 Note, but they don't come anywhere near what ZUK Z1 offers. And we have additional software features on M3 Note, which once again ZUK Z1 doesn't offer. In terms of software features and software experience, M3 Note has much more to offer than the ZUK Z1, like App Lock, which can lock applications and unlock them using the fingerprint scanner. You have a vault to hide your files, which once again can be unlocked using the fingerprint scanner alone. You have screen gesture, smart touch, multi-window feature, which you can see in Android N, all the way in Android Lollipop. Both have pretty good UIs. Everything works very smoothly. I love both of them, so this round comes down to your preference. If you want stock Android look and feel with Cyanogen themes, you will pick the ZUK Z1, and if you are looking for a different UI with some additional bells and whistles, you will like M3 Note better. When it comes to updates, M3 Note is not known for providing quick updates, so that's something to consider. We are still stuck with Lollipop, and even if we get an update to Android M, we won't see anything new in terms of visuals. But it comes with all the features from Android Marshmallow and Android N like app permissions and multi-window. It has its own version of those to improve battery life too. I personally don't think we will miss out Android updates on this device. As ZUK Z1 has official Cyanogen OS, you can definitely expect a very long-term software updates. Cyanogen OS 13 is already in beta and you will definitely get Cyanogen OS 14, but slightly slower. As far as I have used both the devices, M3 Note has no bugs so far as I have used it, except it kills apps like WhatsApp and Facebook running in the background. I don't think it's a bug, but I'm supposed to stop it by doing something. So far, I was not able to figure out what to do. Anyway, ZUK Z1 has few bugs, like screen doesn't respond on the lock screen. I had to restart the device to make it work. Camera app crashes a few times. System UI crashed sometimes. Well, it was not regular though. I faced issues maybe once in 2 days. Besides these small issues, everything was pretty good. Audio experience on both the devices is almost similar. Both have a mono speaker at the bottom and it's decently loud enough for a small room. When it comes to battery, Both phones come with 4100 mAh battery with a normal fast charger with a maximum output of 10 watts, and you can charge both devices completely from 0 to 100 in 2.5 hours. And coming to the charging ports, M3 Note has a normal micro USB charging port, whereas the ZUK Z1 has a USB Type-C charging port. And coming to the battery life, I got a similar screen on time of 5 to 6 hours, and on normal usage you can definitely get 2 days of battery life on both the devices, and no matter what you do, you won't kill it in one day. Currently both phones are exclusively sold in Amazon.in. M3 Note is priced at 10,000 rupees and ZUK Z1 is priced at 13,000 rupees. And coming to the deciding factors, first one would always be the camera. ZUK Z1 has a pretty decent camera. I'm not saying it's the best in the class, but it does a very decent job, whereas Meizu M3 Note simply disappoints you in each and every way. So if you take a lot of pictures or if you have any expectations for the camera, then definitely stay away from M3 Note. And if you're someone who doesn't take a lot of pictures, then you can definitely consider M3 Note as a very good contender. The next factor to consider would be the charging port. So with the ZUK Z1, you have to carry an adapter or a cable all the time whenever you are on the move. And with the M3 Note, you don't have to do that. You can always borrow the cable from someone else. And finally, after sale support. I don't have any personal experience about either of these devices, but I heard only disappointing things about Meizu and Lenovo's after sale support. Once again, this is what I heard from my viewers, and you should definitely try to confirm it yourself. If you know anything, if you have any personal experience, do let me know by commenting below this video. And coming to the final verdict, both are pretty good phones with similar battery life and performance. Meizu M3 Note would suit regular people who want a very premium looking phone, a great Android experience, some nice customizations, whereas ZUK Z1 will be great for people who like to play a lot of games, take a lot of pictures, and maybe flash custom ROMs. So what do you like and why? Let me know by commenting below this video. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this. I'll catch up with you in my next video. Until then, as always, keep smiling.